Yes or no? Do you agree with Trump that this war is won?
I agree that we have devastated
Wait, no, do you
their
agree
military.
that we've won? He said we've won. Yes or no? It's not a hard question.
Well, I mean, if you consider a condition of winning destroying their military capabilities, their missile capabilities.
We haven't. Wait, if that's true, why can't the Strait of Hormuz be opened if their military is destroyed?
Nice try, Adam.
What do you mean, nice try? Scott Jennings wrote an article titled "Trump Causes Insurrection in Every
No. Look, I've been being polite to you all day, and I'm done with it. So look, the
idea that he was reassuring Americans that this won't be a forever war was contradicted by what we were just talking about. They're setting up perpetual oversight in the air so they can perpetually see what Iran is doing, and there's a chance we might have to perpetually strike them over and over, just like we did 8 or 9 months ago, just like we did again. And if we don't actually get the enriched uranium, this will turn into a military treadmill where every 8 months or so, we're continuing to strike them over and over. I see people at this table or on TV sitting here and trying to pull all these examples of how we've won. Oh, we destroyed their Air Force. We destroyed their Navy. This isn't a substantive win in any meaningful way. We destroyed an ancient Air Force. We killed an 86-year-old supreme leader who had cancer and replaced him with a 30-year younger son who is more extreme, more radical. They're purging the moderates right there. I think that Iran's thought process right now is, you know what? We need to back off the nukes. No more nukes. Iran's thought process is we need to accelerate. We need to at some point get nukes and stop this from happening.
Let me play. This is a reaction just
do you agree with his military assessments?
There's about 3,000 targets left. The missiles I think we can really get to. I think the problem in the long range is going to be the drones. And then to your point about the nuclear piece, it is a persistent, perpetual stare afterwards if the highly enriched uranium doesn't come out of there, which will require persistent monitoring. The alternative to that would be a very large ground operation with a very significant risk to U.S. forces. That facility where most of it is stored is 300 miles inland, completely surrounded by mountains, 15 kilometers outside the third largest city in the country. That would require probably a large blocking force, somebody going inside to get it. And I think there's a trade-off basically between the risk to U.S. forces and having to actually do it.
Donald Trump literally has had a mugshot because of the witch hunt against him. James Comey, and one of the things I think people very clearly, if you watch him in his own words, he's very proud of the politicalization of what he did to attack Donald Trump.
I like how Ben tried to invoke Trump's mugshot as some sort of proof or some sort of way to hand wave this, which you're conceding in that they are politicizing the government. You're not even denying, neither the conservatives on this panel are denying that Trump is politicizing the government. Can you show me a tweet from Biden asking his DOJ or asking his attorney general? So there's no tweet from Biden asking his attorney general to
Joe
directly
Biden
go after
didn't tweet, but he also didn't president.
Is there any line from President Biden saying go after these 3 people? If you can't point that to me, then you invoking Trump's mugshot is trying to both sides this when this is a clear weaponization of the DOJ.
Americans voted for this, so Americans were sick and tired
of a radical FBI that went after.
Let me ask you a question.
100%. So this is not a surprise that we're like sitting here.
Hunter Biden was being investigated during Biden's term. Do you think Don Jr. would ever be investigated by Pam Bondi?
Absolutely not.
I mean, she's not claiming to be an expert on tariffs, but what the actual experts say are that tariffs hurt small businesses and are passed off to consumers. And we have hundreds of thousands of small businesses who have claimed that they've been affected by these tariffs. That's before we even introduced the war that just started, spiking diesel prices. This war that we've effectively lost as the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. Iran is still gaining riches and Donald Trump backed down. None of this is good. Is the Strait of Hormuz open or closed, Ben?
You just said we lost the war. We've not lost the war. By the way, the Strait of Hormuz has had multiple ships going through today, yesterday, and the day before. So they've been reopening it back up.
The United States can't get any shipping through.
One at a time. But also, Adam, look, you don't need to say we lost the war. You get into Senator Murphy territory there.
Yeah,
the military is achieving objectives. The question is America better off financially with what's going on right now? And is there an opportunity in that, Adam, for Democrats in the midterms?
I'll answer that, but it's not Senator Murphy territory to point out that 86-year-old Khamenei was replaced by his 30-year younger son, who is more radical. The regime is still standing. They still have enriched uranium and the knowledge to build nukes, and they have control over the Strait of Hormuz that they're tolling and getting richer off of. This is not a victory. And I want to very quickly lay out a more affirmative message for Democrats rather than just tearing down Trump, because it's only fair. I kind of touched on this last night, but Democrats should run on a very vicious anti-corruption campaign, removing corruption from politics.
You guys have got a problem in Minnesota and California on that, by the way. You've got a huge problem. You're going to run on anti-corruption. How do you run off of what you did with all the Somali fraud that you defended and protected and are still not going after? When it happened,
which DOJ prosecuted the Somali fraud, Ben?
You're talking about the first part of it, and then they look the other way, or the second part, which has been now and been exposed in a massive way with billions of dollars.
How many people were indicted after Nick Shirley's video?
Well, they're investigating.